starting your journey to financial freedom. Now, you're listening to the New Investor Podcast.
This is the Young Investor for the New Investor Podcast, and it is the Saturday Debrief. The past week has been filled with the learning opportunities in addition to putting to the test our ability to remain composed and calm in the face of uncertainty and the possible dangers from a trade war between US and China that could become uncontrollable and ultimately dangerous for the world economy. However, I do doubt that we will get to that level of concern yet. The markets have reacted to the news pretty sharply, creating some buying opportunities which I hope have occurred for the companies on your watch list. If not, I must then commend you on your patience and composure. Should you, on the contrary, have succumbed to your emotions and starting selling off your companies, let's have a look at the reasoning behind this for a moment. Begin by asking yourself these questions. Would you sell your home if you had a flood this morning? You would certainly not. Would you sell your shop if you had a single bad day of sales? You would also certainly not sell your business. So it is important to take actions which are proportionate to events, and I believe a headline is not a reason to sell your companies as you're holding them for another 10 to 20 years or even forever. So there will be plenty of those headlines along the way. These headlines or occasional setbacks are normal, and the only thing they should spark is buying opportunities. We're not in the business of selling our companies. We are in the business of buying great companies and businesses. The companies you have purchased were purchased because of a very valid and calculated reason at a particular time and a price, because you were convinced that they will still be around in 10 years and that they will continue to do well or continue to be major players in the future. As far as I am concerned, this week has allowed me to increase my position in one of my companies and buy another, as their stock price I had in mind have been reached, and I wish I had more cash even on hand to buy more of them. So our episodes, if you remember, in the previous weeks did focus on the importance of building cash to ensure you maintain a strong buying power in case of headlines or market crashes. So we look at the price of stocks, not at the news. Bad news will allow for the stock you're eyeing to become a buying opportunity actually. So regarding the price of the stocks, there's multiple ways to value stocks as to determine what would be the best price possible. It's not an exact science. Everyone is trying to work this out. Everyone has a theory or a number. I prefer to look at the value of the business, both in their tangibles and intangibles, rather than the stock price, and you'll be able to judge if the price you're paying for is fair or not. I am one of those thinking that over time you will do well, provided you have selected the right companies to own. There could be rare circumstances that could occur over a period of 10 years or more that will force you to sell. A company can actually fail. So what I have done is to complete two steps first. One, I determine the level of risk I am able to take given my personal present financial situation. Basically, how much money am I comfortable losing through an investment? Two, I set up what we call then a stop loss according to these risks, determine the percentage that I am ready to lose, as to give also a chance to the stock to bounce back. Should the market drive the stock price below, the system will then automatically sell my stock at the price I would have set, considering the risk I could take. So such would allow you to forecast as well your worst case scenario, which is a good way to always know where you stand or could stand with your investments in any circumstances. These are all things I personally do which work well for me. So I have made my purchases also for my most recent stock this week on Thursday and Friday, which means that I have waited out for the news to be digested by the markets. I observed before that a bad news will affect the markets with day-to-day declines over a few days or even more than that. So better to wait for the declines to reach their peak before making your move. As far as I'm concerned, again, I'm satisfied with my purchases, and should the stock price decline further, so be it. We're not investing billions, so $1 or $2 won't make a huge difference. Just be confident that you have purchased the right company, and that's the most important of it all. So I wish you all a fantastic weekend ahead.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.